Hello everyone, Vic here with PhoneArena, and today we have the brand new Motorola Edge Plus, and we'll be comparing its camera capabilities against the Samsung Galaxy S20 Plus. Two are great Android phones and they come with versatile camera setups, but how do they perform in real life? That's what we're about to find out. And as you can see right now, we're recording with the main cameras on both devices, the front cameras. On the Galaxy S20 Plus, you do have 4K option, so footage looks a little bit crispier and sharper, while on the Motorola Edge Plus, the resolution you get maximum is 1080p Full HD, so you don't quite have that much detail. So let's pause here for a moment. What I can see here on my screen is that my face looks a little bit darker on the Motorola Edge Plus, but you also get those clouds and the sky, while the top part of the video on the Galaxy S20 Plus appears completely washed out, at least right now on my screen. You let me know if you can see this difference. There's definitely better dynamic range on the Motorola Edge Plus, but see here my face turns very dark, or you can see it very well on the Galaxy S20 Plus. So both phones have their pros and cons. So let's here try and tap on my face, see what happens. It gets a much better exposure, but now the skies are blown out on both devices. So next up we'll look at a couple of selfies, a few images from the main camera. So let's continue. Let's go with our comparison between the Motorola Edge Plus and the Samsung Galaxy S20 Plus. Looking at a photo taken with the front camera on the Moto Edge Plus and the Galaxy S20 Plus, you can see a difference right away. First, because of that closer perspective on the Galaxy, but also notice how details in my face look super sharp and crispy in the Galaxy, while on the Motorola there is a bit of a blur as the phone has simply missed focus and it is actually the background that is in sharp focus. With the Galaxy you also have the option to take a wide selfie, and again you see the richer detail on the Samsung phone. We also have a portrait selfie option on both devices, so the background is nicely blurred. Here the Motorola was able to focus well and the photo looks very nice with pleasing soft colors, while the Galaxy goes a bit overboard with the contrast. And here is one more selfie shot. Notice the difference in the color of my t-shirt. The Galaxy definitely captured the brighter photo with the more accurate color, while the Motorola paints everything way too dark, but at the end of the day both images look quite nice. However, the Galaxy comes up slightly on top with sharper detail. And again, on the Galaxy you also have the option to go with a wide selfie or a close-up selfie, and you don't have that option on the Motorola. Here is how the same image looks with portrait mode enabled. Both do a good job isolating me from the background, so it's a draw here. Next up we'll test the video stabilization on both phones without using the Steadicam modes, so just using the default settings. Follow me around, let's see how they do in terms of video stabilization when you don't have any special Steadicam modes enabled. So let's walk faster now. Did you see a difference? Now let's run. And next we'll enable the Steadicam mode and see if there is any difference. Next up we continue testing video stabilization, but this time we have the Steadicam mode enabled, and this should make a big difference. Follow me around, let's see how they do in terms of video stabilization. Motorola Edge Plus, Samsung Galaxy S20 Plus. So let's walk faster without tripping, and let's run now. So you should be able to see a big difference here with Steadicam mode enabled on both phones. Next up we're testing the continuous autofocus on both the Motorola Edge Plus and the Galaxy S20 Plus, and let's see how fast they focus. So let me step out of the frame real quick and then come back, see if they're able to switch focus to my face, back to the background, my face, and see if they're able to track me, keep the focus on my face as I'm moving. So once again let me step out of the frame and see which one does quicker in terms of focusing speed. Let me know in the comments. And what you're seeing right now is the maximum zoom capabilities on both phones. You have 10 times digital zoom on the Motorola Edge Plus and 12 times on the Samsung Galaxy S20 Plus. Both are recording in 4K video resolution. So let's now zoom out gradually as much as possible all the way to 1x. So this is 1x here on the Galaxy and 1x on the Motorola Edge Plus, but then the Galaxy can also use the ultra-wide camera. Right here you get a much wider shot. Switching back to the main camera, 1x, and then zoom once again to the maximum level. You have a convenient shortcut here on the Galaxy, 3 times zoom, and then you can go all the way to 12 times zoom and 10 times zoom on the Motorola Edge Plus. Let's focus on the light. This is the kind of detail you get. Next up, let's take a look at that main camera, and here is a portrait mode photo, something that we use a lot for pictures of people. Both phones do a good job to make my coworker Peter stand out from the background, no problems in that regard, but there is a difference in the color. The Galaxy tends to go with strong, overly contrasted colors and the colder overall tonality, while the Motorola has softer contrast and slightly warmer colors that actually look more flattering when you take photos of people. In this next portrait photo, the composition is slightly different, but again, notice how strong and contrasted are the colors on the Samsung, creating deep shadows under my eyes. The image from the Motorola is not better, its colors look bleak and dull, but you don't have those issues with artificially added contrast. The best image would be a combination of the two photos here. Next up, let's take a look at a couple more shots taken during the day, this time just using the main camera without portrait mode enabled. In this first photo, notice how the Motorola has better dynamic range and you can see the skies clearly. However, skin tones appear pinkish and the whole image lacks a bit in vibrancy. This is a trend. In the second photo, again, you see the Motorola failing to capture a sharp image and colors are a bit dull and pinkish. Next up, one more example, and here you see the big difference between the Galaxy and the Motorola. The Galaxy just has more vibrant, richer colors, and sharp, even a bit too sharp detail, while on the Motorola the whole thing kind of lacks vibrancy. One more photo to showcase this. Colors from the Galaxy again look better, the yellow is vibrant, lively, my skin tone is more or less realistic, while the Motorola turns colors into a bit of a desaturated pinkish mess. It's not terrible, but Motorola could definitely use some more uplifting colors. Using the zoom functionality, you have the option to go to 3 times zoom without losing much in terms of quality. We're pleased to see good, clean detail on both photos, with the major difference here being again those colors. They're more saturated on the Samsung and bleaker on the Motorola. And next up we continue with nighttime video recording on the Motorola Edge Plus and the Samsung Galaxy S20 Plus. And what you see right away from the get-go is that with the Motorola Edge Plus you get a much wider field of view with the camera in 4K video recording, while on the Galaxy you get a tighter view, which is definitely something interesting to notice. So let's point the camera this way. And what you see that those lamps appear too bright on both phones, hard to resolve, but just notice the difference in colors and how the Motorola Edge Plus has those bleaker colors, not quite realistic I would say, a bit too bleak, and as we approach the lights you get to see that dynamic range resolved. So let's point the cameras towards something darker. So take a look here. What we see on our screens is that the Motorola Edge Plus starts to lose detail when the camera is pointed at something really dark, while the Galaxy does look a bit crispier and a bit sharper in terms of detail. So let's also walk a bit so you get a sense of, once again, the stabilization, both phones handheld. But just notice the lights and how the Galaxy is much better able to capture that rich dynamic range, while on the Motorola everything just appears burned out. Let me tap on that, and this does help a bit, but not much in terms of the dynamic range. still get a much crisper detail on the Galaxy S20 Plus. Notice also the sky looks washed out on the Motorola Edge Plus. Finally, again, let's walk this way. Notice those richer colors on the Galaxy at night. Definitely looks a bit better to me. Next up, it's time to look at photos taken in low light at night. Just pressing the shutter button without activating any special modes, and you see that the Galaxy captures a nice looking photo, while the Motorola could not focus, even though we tried this a couple of times and the whole picture looks blurry. Now you also have a dedicated night mode on both phones, and you need to select it from a separate menu in the camera app and do it all manually. Taking a photo with this mode enabled takes a few long seconds on both phones, so it's definitely a tedious process that we didn't really enjoy, but the results are worth it. You get a lot more light and the photo looks a lot better in both cases. Now in the second picture here, you again see the advantage the Galaxy has in low light. It has cleaner detail, and notice how the area around the lamp at the entrance is just burned on the Motorola. Next up, we have those bright neon lights. The Galaxy captures this photo with deeper blacks and its typical serving of slightly over-sharpened detail, while the Motorola captures a softer image and there is a bit of a pinkish light bleed. We'd give the Galaxy a slight preference. Now the same shot taken from the perspective of the ultra-wide camera on both phones shows one thing very clearly, and that's just how much wider the ultra-wide camera on the Galaxy is, as it captures a lot more and makes for a much more epic look. However, this comes at a cost, as the quality drops and you can see, for example, that pizza sign looking a bit strange. And the Motorola is not able to capture as much light here, and details, especially towards the edge of the frame, are very mushy. This one goes to the Samsung. And if you try to zoom in such low light conditions, you can definitely see that here the Motorola captures a lot more detail. This is a good moment to mention that the Galaxy does not have a telephoto lens. It uses a 64 megapixel photo to crop in, and it zooms this way, while the Motorola comes with a dedicated 3x zoom telephoto camera. It definitely has the superior detail, but colors again are a bit too bleak. Here are a couple more shots taken in low light with both phones. Take a look and see the differences for yourselves. So there you have it, guys, the Motorola Edge Plus, a brand new contender from Motorola, and after using it for a while, we can safely say Motorola is back. This might not be the very best camera or the very best phone out there, but it's definitely a very strong contender, and it's actually a lot cheaper than the Samsung Galaxy S20 Plus. The difference in price is about $200. So what about the camera quality? Well, here you have that 108 megapixel main camera, and it sounds good on paper, but in reality, Motorola is definitely not quite on par with the Galaxy S20 Plus. The area where it lags the most is just the color reproduction. Colors appear a bit bleak, a bit desaturated, while on the Galaxy S20 Plus you get those juicy colors that make the images pop and just look better. And in terms of video recording, the Galaxy S20 Plus is again a little bit better, not just because it supports that 8K video resolution maximum, or here you have 6K video. Most people will record in 4K or 1080p anyway, but the quality of the recordings is just a little bit better on the Galaxy S20 Plus. It has the faster focus, and overall it performs a little bit better. That's it, guys, our 1v1 camera comparison between the Motorola Edge Plus and the Galaxy S20 Plus. And before we check out, did you know that you can actually compare specifications in detail on our webpage www.phonearena.com? Let me show you how you can do it right here on an iPad or on your phone. You can go into our specs compare page and you can check out all the details, the camera specs, the battery specifications, and everything in between. So that's it, guys, from us, a quick video. Let me know which camera you like better in the comments and why. My name is Vic. It was a pleasure talking to you. Subscribe if you want to see more from us, and I will see you around.